That will just single-handedly make the perfect device for everyone. Well, in this video, we're going to give my first impressions and unbox the 9th generation iPad. The one that most people should buy, but what most won't. With a few compromises, it could very well be your next iPad. Let's get into it. I'm super stoked about this. This is the iPad 9th Gen. So let's unbox it. So just peeling off the paper. Okay. Look at that. Now I don't have the 10.5 inch iPad Pro box to hand, but yeah, this is substantial. This, don't need that. Right, you can see that we did actually pick up the 64 gig Wi-Fi model just because I don't need any fancy stuff. My last iPad Pro was actually 64 gigs, so I never used up all that. Let me just open up this box because it has shrink wrap on it. Magically enough. This knife is blunt as anything. Let's just do that. Okay. Peeling off the plastic. And it's the same box design as every other iPad ever, pretty much, that's been a budget iPad, which is interesting. The box, slimmer than usual, which is really interesting. It says iPad on it, and I picked up a silver model because I had a silver iPad Pro before this and I liked it, and I have a silver Mac Mini, so I'm transitioning my ecosystem away from space grey ever so slightly. Let's open the box. Come on. Doesn't want to come out. Ah, there we go. Okay, I see what people were talking about. This sort of like, just lift it out, plastic feel to it, you know? It's not really, it's plastic feeling, which is interesting. Substantially heavy. Let's just set that off to the side because every pretentious unboxer does that. Of course, we have a 20-watt brick and USB-C charging cable and brick. Of course, you have all your regulatory information and Apple stickers. Yeah, we're not going to need that right now. Wait, did mine come without stickers? No, it didn't. Okay, I'm not going to have to complain to Apple. My box came with Apple stickers. Great to see, cause come on, they're the most expensive stickers you'll ever buy. Like I said before, it does have the plastic wrap on it, which is interesting. And what's this? The corner of my packaging has a little lip on it. So obviously someone wasn't careful when they did this. And by the way, DHL, come on guys. Like, I got my iPad ordered on the 24th and my order was supposed to be here on the 27th, got delayed. What is that all about? Without further ado, love that sound. We're going to keep all the packaging. And I see what people are talking about, the non-laminated display. I do see what people are talking about. We have a way better 12 megapixel front facing camera. And get a good idea of this because it's never going to not have fingerprints on this again. Yeah, I can see the non-laminated display, which is interesting. Let's take a look at this. Now, the aluminum is nice. Like, this does remind me of my very first iPad, the iPad Air 2, which is very interesting. All right, let's boot this thing up. Now, this does have a 12 megapixel ultra-wide front-facing camera for center stage. And oh, this is new. It's booting up sideways. I'm not sure if you can see that, but yeah. It is booting up sideways, which is really cool. Saying hello to us. And let's press home to open. And you can see this is black bezels on the front and a silver body. I'm digging this look because I was concerned when I saw it originally that I wasn't going to like it. Of course, we have a smart connector, still. Lightning port, obviously. Speakers, headphone jack, still included on this iPad. And the volume buttons are in traditional spots. Let's set this up and I'll give you my impressions on it. Okay, so I've been using this iPad now for about 24 hours as of doing this video. And I'm really, really, really satisfied.
That's what she said.
Okay, first question I have. Why did I get this over, say, the iPad Mini? Because the iPad Mini came out at the exact same time. It costs similar to this, and you know, it's newer look. It has fancier bezels, and it's just not an overall older design. Well, here's the thing. This iPad isn't as bad. What it reminds me of is my iPad Air 2, which I had back in 2015 up as far as 2018. And then I got my iPad Pro 10.5 inch. So it really does hit home to me, the whole feel of this device. With the whole flat camera, so no rocking against the desk. You know, it's thick so that accommodates for more battery, and a better front-facing camera, which is 12 megapixels and has center stage technology. All the iPads in the lineup, except for the iPad Air 4, have center stage technology. This is a 12 megapixel front-facing camera, and it's the same across the board now for the most part, except for the iPad Air 4. See where I'm going with this? The iPad Air 4 is great if you want a newer design. It has some minor compromises. Some compromises that will be fixed in the iPad Air 5, but let's be real, is that anytime soon coming? I don't know. Let's talk now about the screen, because the screen is the biggest compromise I think with this iPad. It's a non-laminated LCD panel. You can see the air gap if you're looking at off axis. And I know it's in the unboxing. However, when you look at it, just regularly, just looking at the iPad in front of you, doing whatever, or using the Apple Pencil or anything like that, it legitimately just works really seamlessly. You can use the pencil to draw and you don't really notice the difference. I'm coming from an iPad Pro which had ProMotion 120Hz display, and I just didn't care. I didn't care if it had ProMotion, or I didn't care if it did anything like that. All I wanted it to do was take notes. I wanted to web browse. I wanted to do content streaming. I can even live stream with this thing now. I do all my video conferencing on this now because of its great camera system. Now you might say, okay, I don't use an iPad for cameras. I don't use an iPad to take pictures. Why do I need great cameras? Well, working from home is very common now, so that's why you might want an iPad to have great cameras as well. And it's just weird, I would say, to have speakers coming down from the bottom and no stereo speakers. That is something I got used to with my 10.5 inch iPad Pro before this, but I got over it as soon as I used this. Yeah, the display knows it for a few minutes and it's gone. I was a big opponent to black bezels on a silver device before this, and I was concerned when I saw the reviews go out and no one really got the silver. And I was seeing all the space gray models and they look really good with the black bezels, but in general, you cannot go wrong with this combination, and I think it looks sick because I get the best of both worlds. I get my space grey and black, and I get my silver, which matches my ecosystem perfectly. So now, that review, or first impressions I should say, is very good. Like, it has the A13 Bionic, which is really fast, and it has 64 gigs of storage base, it has the Wi-Fi 6 connectivity. What's not to like about it? No 5G? Let's be real, if you're buying this iPad, you probably don't care about that. If you're buying this iPad, you probably don't care about the design. You're buying an iPad because it cost you €375 out of the store. Let me reiterate, €375 out of the store. That is bonkers. I don't know how they can get away with charging such a reasonable price. And then you can add an Apple Pencil on to that. Of course, you can buy it. It's the first gen, so you can buy it used really cheap. Yeah, you're in great shape if you get this iPad. I highly recommend it. So what actually makes an iPad a Pro iPad anymore? Because this kills the iPad Pro. The iPad Pro only has an extra camera. There's a mini LED display. But even when we compare it to even an 11-inch iPad Pro, which is the main competitor to what this is, the iPad Air is. The whole iPad lineup, it just doesn't make any sense anymore. Because before we could say, okay, Apple Pencil 2 support extra cameras, which is still a thing on the back, but no one really uses it. LiDAR, an extra chip, M1 chip. But A15 is technically the same as an M1 chip. So you need to think now, what exactly is the reasoning behind this whole, iPad inconsistency? Because this is an A13 chip. This works with an Apple Pencil. This has Lightning, not USB-C, but USB-C is not a Pro feature anymore. So we really have to think about it. Is the camera really worth it? Is a mini LED display worth it? Is an M1 chip worth it? Or are you happy enough with the same chip being on your iPhone as is in your iPad? What makes an iPad Pro? That's what confuses me now about the iPad lineup, because this is so goddamn good. I'll recommend this to anyone who wants an iPad, just general use iPad. Because here's the thing with iPads. You buy an iPad and a couple of years later you'll look at the iPads and say, but it's an iPad. It can't really do much. Sure, you can pair it with a keyboard and mouse, but after you pair it with a keyboard and mouse, it's not going to do much else. Give it a trackpad. Maybe it might become a laptop, but it's still an iPad. And an iPad can only do so much. And that's what makes this a really compelling option. I don't think you'll ever be disappointed with the performance and things like that this iPad has to offer. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, comment down below. Catch you next time.